what's going on defense or on offense. So it's going to be a great year, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of head coaches, especially, when they get that opportunity when they're young, they go in there and they try to say, well, this is what I'm going to take over and I'm going to be in charge of it. And it kind of not necessarily setting out to, but you kind of ignore half of what's going on, with your guys. And so, it's good that you were able to see like, hey, I need to do things a little different. And, I know from working with Drew, everything you said about him's true. He's great with kids and very enthusiastic, and I know he's going to keep it simple on defense. He's going to make sure you guys are aligned and all those things. So, Drew, why don't you kind of talk about why it was a good time for you to make that move for yourself and your family?
So the reason we moved away from Kansas City was my wife started working in Topeka. And so we moved to Lawrence, so our drives would be about halfway each. And then, I just was to the point where I was kind of tired of driving. My kids were getting close to being in school. And I had known Sean from playing at Fort Hays. And, the opportunity was there, and I kind of jumped at it. I'm excited to get after it, with somebody that I highly respect and a community that I feel is pretty thirsty for some success in football.
Yeah, it's definitely understandable. I hated to, personally see you leave East, just because I felt like we became pretty good friends over the last 5 years. But, I totally get it that, that the drive from Lawrence to Shawnee Mission East every day is a grind, and that adds, over an hour to your day with travel and all that. So, I was excited for you to, get an opportunity, and sometimes change is a good thing and can kind of reinvigorate that enthusiasm.
Yeah, absolutely. I learned a lot 5 years at East. We had a heck of a lot of success, a great coaching staff, great kids. And I hope to bring some of that mentality and some of that knowledge to Eudora and, continue what Sean's already kind of been doing and kind of go above and beyond and see how good we can be and, see how much success we can have.
Yeah. So, it's definitely been a weird spring, with no physical school happening. Drew, you were kind of putting a bow on your time at East via distance learning, and all those things these last few months. And I know, Sean, you guys were kind of doing the same thing, but you guys have now started summer workouts. So, Drew, how are you kind of starting to build relationships with guys now that you can finally get in front of them and they can see who you are?
So what Coach Hayden, the plan that he laid out is we have three groups per session, and then we have 6 sessions of weights. And so with the social distancing and all of the guidelines, we're allowed to have 14 kids per group. And so I work with the same 14 kids, session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4. So I'm getting to know those kids. And it's not all the kids on the team and not all the kids that I'm going to eventually know. But I'm getting to build some relationships just, this week alone, just with the same group of kids. And they're getting to know me and I'm getting to know them. So, come camp and come, when we get to practice and whatnot, it's going to be good to already know some faces and see the things that they can do athletically and that can help us, be successful.
Yeah. How is kind of your implementation plan? Are you completely overhauling the defense that has been in place? Or are you just kind of changing a few things? And how kind of what's your plan to do that through this summer that's not going to be, typical summer here in Kansas high school football?
I guess you could say it's a systematic change. We're going to go to a 3-4 and they were a 4-down team. But, we coach, we get it. Like at the end of the day, you're going to line up to whatever the offense gives you. And so, our kids, it might be called something different or it might read something different on the newspaper. But, at the end of the day, we're going to line up and try to play as fast as possible. Fortunately for me with the social distancing and not being in school, I was actually able to sit in with Sean and his football team, and we've already started doing installs. So I would say almost 80-90% of the things that we're going to do, the kids have heard. Now, they haven't done it, but they've heard it, they've been explained it, they've watched it on film. So we're going to have a huge leg up come July when we do get after it come football. I think one of the biggest things with being able to play fast is knowing what you need to do and understanding it. And so those kids have already heard it. So they're going to be able to line up. Now, again, it's not going to be perfect, but instead of having to teach one, we're going to be able to, build on what they've already learned. And that's another nice part about what we're doing with the weight room is I'm already talking to kids about, just names of stuff. So there might be 4 or 5 kids in the groups that I have that know where to line up, know what to do, and that's only going to help everyone else as we get going.
Yeah, we know from coaching, it's always easier when you have a kid or two that's on the field that understands the defense just as well as you do and can help guys get lined up because, there's always going to be 1 or 2 guys that just for whatever reason don't quite figure it out, but they got somebody around them that can help them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I know you were already kind of watching some film, way back kind of the last time we saw each other back in March. And, I'm sure you've been studying and you kind of, although things do fluctuate a little bit from year to year, but I'm sure some game plan things, what is there a bunch of that you guys have already talked about, the two of you, kind of what you're thinking on some of these teams?
I don't think we've had long conversations, but I think, in our huddle installs and stuff, I've already been, I think the biggest thing for me was just getting familiar with the league and what we're going to see. So.
Very nice. Who are some of the other schools that you guys will be playing this year?
We have Paola, and they're probably the best 4A football team that's not Miege. Tongi, who's up there, they didn't even play each other and they're in the same league, but they were really stinking good last year. Tonganoxie. Bonner Springs, very, very athletic. They have a new head coach. Kansas City Piper, very, very athletic, and he's done a good job there. We have Lewisburg, traditional powerhouse. Baldwin, who's been really good, and Ottawa. And before Miege started representing the East in the 4A, our league represented every single year. So, it's really good football.
Yeah, and you guys are in the western side of the bracket, right?
We're in the East.
Oh, you're in the East. Okay. So
I wish we were in the West.
Yeah. It's very, obviously Miege is on an incredible run here, but you have to kind of look at them as the measuring stick for this side of the state in 4A, and I don't want to get into the whole public versus private debate, and all that. We could talk about that probably for 2 days. But what kind of is what's the team that you look at that you're like, man, if we can beat these guys, like we've made serious strides?
First, let me touch on the Miege thing. I tell my kids all the time, why recruit or why talk about Miege when you guys can't even get the kids out in our school? If we got every single able-bodied male in our school that should be playing football, we're going to be playing Miege, and we're going to be playing them well. So do that first, and then start talking about Miege. And we're not scared. We would love that opportunity. We'd love that opportunity to play the best. But right now, if we can beat Paola, that's how we've made on our league. And they're really good, and they're well coached, and they're tough, and they get off the ball. That's who we want to be, and that's what we're going to be.
I like that attitude. That's nice. That's good. That's good to hear that. Do you guys have kind of a schedule about when things are going to start moving to kind of more normal, or are you guys kind of on a wait and see thing right now?
Yeah, it's all like, hey, we might do this, we might do this.
Yeah.
So, and I feel bad for my coaches because I don't know if they think I'm not doing my job, but here's the deal: we can't do much yet, you know. Right. And so, with the way that summer's currently set up, you know, last year we would already be doing football. We would already have football camp, and we'd be doing a paddle camp next week. Well, we're not going to even start football till July, which is honestly really good. You know, our kids right now, they're just kind of getting in, you know, some mobility and getting in shape. We're not going to be injured because we're not going to be getting in the squat rack too soon, you know, and loading up the bar too much. You know, with football, we'd go through all this football in June, and then we'd be off, and the kids would forget it. So now, once we get the kids in July, we have the kids, and I think it's going to be a good, positive thing.
Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it too. Now you guys already have does everybody have their schedules as far as like who they're playing and what dates? Or are we still waiting on that too? They do.
And that Keisha released that a while ago.
And that should be good to go, right? Like those are, I mean, as far as we know, like all those dates are going to be set and we're going to be playing.
I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean,
yeah.
God, what is Midwest? What is the Midwest without Friday night football? Honestly,
right?
You know that is your town. You know we have so many people that you know come to our football games. It's a social event. It is the thing to do. You know, you take that away from the community, that's sad. So I assume we're going to play football, and it's going to be exciting. Fall is the most exciting part of the school year. You know, your football team wins, it sets the tone for the rest of your sports. You know, so I hope we do.
Yeah, and that'll be good because everybody will be pretty hungry for some sports, and so I think your Friday nights are going to be even crazier than they were just on like a normal year. Everybody's going to be out there being really excited and ready to go. So I know I'm ready to go. I can watch anything now.
I know, you know, Drew, you and I have talked about how, you know, kind of the kickoff to the school year, and Sean just mentioned it too, but, you know, the football season is so important to how your school year is going to kind of go. I mean, and I'm ready to get it going. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are able to do some things right now, you know, maybe not 100% football related, but at least be around kids and work with them. How exciting is that, you know, that you guys are able to do that right now?
Me or Drew?
Either of you, both of you.
Go ahead, John. You go first.
Well, you know, and I don't know what Drew thinks about this, but personally, in my opinion, you know, Eudora kids are such a pleasure to work with. And, you know, you can go watch any of my, you know, Twitter videos or whatever. All my classes are mixed. All my weights in the summer are now mixed. They weren't last year, but it doesn't matter to the kids. I mean, they're going to work hard, and I love that. You know, I do like having a football session in the summer, but you know, I like working with all kids. I love being a weights teacher. So, you know, and these kids are a pleasure to work with. Honestly, they bust their tail. They come. You know, and then they work hard.
Yeah, I agree completely. You know, I grew up in Hayes, which is a 4A school also, and Eudora reminds me very much of the type of kids that I grew up with, and then you know, I'm lucky to coach them. You know, they show up, they work hard. You know, just today I was talking to 2 or 3 of them that said they were, you know, out baling hay until, you know, 11 o'clock at night. And then I can tell you just from my experience and in coaching in different places that those are the type of kids that you can win with. And so, you know, just like Sean said, you know, working with all the kids, getting to meet them, getting to, you know, build those relationships has been huge. It's only going to make it, you know, more exciting come fall, you know, when things get rolling.
And here's another good indicator. You know, we opened up the sessions this year. I didn't say you had to come at 6, you had to come at this. I just said, sign up and we'll put you anywhere. And within 8 hours, you know, we were almost full up with sign up. You know, I was going to have to add more sessions. And in that 6 o'clock session, all my football players signed up. I mean, a lot of my football players signed up. They don't even have to tell them you come in early. They just want to come in early.
Yeah.
You know, and they like it. So it's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, I know it's got to be great, you know, kind of getting back in a routine. And, especially in your smaller communities, it's a little easier because it's not as condensed.